Okay, mighty companions, want to welcome you to A Course in Miracles. A course in how to look at things in such a way that you don't go crazy, act crazy, and feel crazy. A course in how to get over your unhappiness. And we're going to talk about what it says about setting a goal. Since we're starting out a new year, I would love to hear what the Course in Miracles says about setting goals, because that comes up this time of year. So we're going to start out with our theme song, which is I Am Not a Victim of the World I See, from A Course in Miracles. Say what? I'm not a victim of my mom, I'm not a victim of my pa, I'm not a victim of events or circumstance at all. I'm not a victim of the world I see. I'm not a victim of the world I see. Cause what's happening now is what I've done to me. I'm not a victim of the future, not a victim of the past, not a victim of anything that really doesn't last. I'm not a victim of the world I see. I'm not a victim of the world I see. Cause what's happening now is what I've done to me. I'm not a victim of the world I see. I'm not a victim of the world I see. I'm not a victim, no, of the world I see. Not a victim of the world I see. Not a victim of the world I see. I love high tech. I have learned to keep it simple, sweetheart, as much as you possibly can. Welcome to A Course in Miracles. I'm Earl Purdy, and we're going to talk about how to absolutely set goals, but do it in a way that'll make it easier than we've ever done before, and also give us the result that we want. Is that worthwhile?
Yes.
Especially going through what we're going through right now. Do you know there's a way of doing things that's the easy way and a way of doing things that's the hard way? The Course in Miracles teaches us over and over again that there's an easy way. And that the easiest way is to learn how to get out of the way so that Spirit can do things through you and for you. So the Course in Miracles is not another personal self-help book just trying to teach you how to do it better on your own. It's about how to get rid of every block that keeps you from receiving the inheritance of love and peace and abundance that's your divine right. Mm. Mm. So the attitude to take, if you really want to change your mind, what would be the attitude, the best attitude to take? Well, the Course tells us that also. The best attitude to take is that you don't have to believe it, you don't have to accept it, you don't have to welcome it, and that some of the things you're going to hear from me is going to be hard to believe. Some of it's going to be startling. That we're not going to analyze the ideas. We're going to use them. And then he says if you use it, you'll see that it works. So, and also I want to help people who are trying to read this, and sometimes it's a challenge for them. So we're doing Setting the Goal on page 365. 365, it's in chapter 17, section 6, in the Foundation for Inner Peace version of A Course in Miracles. 17 So the Course starts out by telling us that God's purpose, Spirit's purpose, was supposed to have complete happiness. That's the purpose. What is the purpose? For us to have complete happiness. It says it right at the beginning. The practical application of the Holy Spirit's purpose is extremely simple, but it's also unequivocal. So what does it take for something to be simple? Well, in order for something to be simple, it has to be easily understood. And if it's going to be easily understood, it's got to be clear. So anything that you want simple, it's got to be something that's easily understood and is clear to you. So the Course says, love, truth is going to take the direction of, I'm going to give you instructions, I'm going to show you a way that's easily understood and clear. So the Course would say right-minded, love-minded would be something that's easily understood and clear. And so it next says the setting of the Holy Spirit's goal, which is the setting of love's goal, is general. So we want love, we want peace, we want healing. That's generally what everybody say they want. Now we've got to work to make that peace that you say you want very specific. So what do? Well, you apply the ideas, and then he says that's when you'll be making it specific. It's specific when I apply it to something. So if I'm going to have the goal of peace, then I need to apply it to something specifically. Okay? Now, remember, your understanding and my understanding doesn't make something true or not. Neither does your agreement or my agreement make something true. Some things can be true whether you think they are or not. Some things can be true whether I believe it's true or not. So whether or not I believe something is true is not the arbiter of its credibility or validity. Does that make sense to everybody? Yeah. And so, because have you noticed that people act like that? Like something isn't true unless they agree with you. It's funny when you think of it, you know. So the Course says there's a hard way to do it, there's an easy way to do it, which is the same as saying there's a loving way to do it and there's a fearful way to do it. So if you want to do it the loving way, first you have to set the goal. The goal is, I want some peace, some love, some joy. I want a good time. I want to heal. Now we got to make that specific. So there are going to be very specific guidelines that Spirit provides for any situation. What did you just say to me, Earl? There are going to be very specific guidelines that love is going to provide or need in any situation. If you want to have love and peace in any situation, there are very specific guidelines of what you have to do if you really want real love and real peace and real joy. There's guidelines, okay? I hear you. Then it says, but what is it you need to remember? You don't know how to apply the truth to every situation. First, we're trying to teach you how to apply the truth that will give you peace to a specific situation, because right now, you can't apply the truth to every situation. I'm trying to get you to love one person, because right now, you know you don't have the capacity really to love everybody, even if you're saying that. So we need to start out with the fewest amount of people that we need to love as possible. That's kind of funny when you think about it. It's like, so we gonna start out with you just trying to treat one person right. if we can get you to treat one person with love. Because right now, you can't apply these guidelines to everything. Okay? So it says, so therefore, you need to realize that you don't know how to do this in every situation. You don't know how to practice total love and peace in every situation. Just admit that. That's what Spirit is saying through the course. Then it says, therefore, it's essential at this point to use the specific guidelines in every separate situation. So I'm going to use the truth in every separate situation in my life, but I'm going to try to practice this in every different situation in my life until I can more safely look beyond each situation and have an understanding that's much broader than the understanding that I have right now. I'm going to use this truth in every situation till I get to a point that I can look beyond the situation with a bigger understanding than I have right now. So I'm going to use this in this situation till I have a more understanding of the situation. I'm going to use the truth in this situation until I have a broader understanding of the situation. Okay? So what do you do in any situation that you have doubt in? What do you do in any situation that you are uncertain in? I'm about to tell you what we're told to do. Would you like to hear that? Yes. Okay, the first thing you need to consider, the very first thing that you need to consider in any situation that you're having doubt and fear, the first thing you need to consider is, what do I want to come of this? What am I doing this for? What is this for? What do I want to come out of? You got a situation that you're wondering about, a situation you have fear about. I wonder if I should move, or I wonder if I should stay. Well, then ask yourself, what do I want to come out of moving? What would I want to come out of staying? What would I move for? What would I stay here for? He says, if you would ask those questions in any situation that you have doubt, it would get you out of the doubt and uncertainty. Okay, now remember, if you haven't tried this consistently, don't let your mind tell you it doesn't work. It makes sense to me. I mean, I don't know what to do, and that's what's got me feeling so uncertain. If I could tell my butt what I want to do, that'd be the end of that. It's so simple. It's so simple. It's maddening. Then he says, well, let me put it another way to you wonderful beings out there. The clarification of the goal belongs at the beginning. You need to get clear about your goal at the beginning. You in a relationship, you need to get clear about your goal in that relationship from the beginning. Are you trying to change your financial situation? Then you need to be clear about your goal from the very beginning. Are you trying to wake up spiritually and get in touch with who you really are? The clarification of the goal belongs at the beginning. Now, why should you set a goal at the beginning? He says, well, setting a goal at the beginning is going to determine how it turns out. If you want to know how something's going to turn out, it's going to turn out the way your goal has set it to turn out. In other words, you wanted to come over here today, that was your goal, and it turned out that you're over here today. Your goal determined the outcome. Your goal was to come here, you're here. So the goal determines the outcome. Wow. The goal determines the outcome. That's why it's important to have a goal. Because if I come here to hear the Course in Miracles and I know I came here to hear the Course in Miracles, the outcome I'll hear it today. If I come over here and I don't even know if I want to hear it, then it's going to be hard to hear it and listen to it because it wasn't a goal you had. Does that make sense? Yeah. The more you're not clear why you're doing something, the harder it is to pay attention to it and stick to it. If I know why I'm with you, I'm much more likely to stay with you than if I don't have the slightest idea why I'm with you. Which is what you hear people say often. I don't know the slightest idea why I'm with you. Okay, well, that's why you catch in hell, too. Y'all don't know why you're together, right? So what does the Course say next? It says, well, the first thing you want to do when you're in a situation that you're uncertain is ask yourself, well, do I want to come of this? What is it for? Because what? The clarification of the goal belongs at the beginning because that's going to determine how everything turns out. Now, he says in the ego's procedure, this is reversed. So what does the Course mean when it says in the ego's procedure? It means in your procedure. Wherever you see the word ego, just substitute your name. And then the whole thing will make a lot more sense. Right? He says in the procedure of a mind that thinks it's separate, right? In the procedure of a mind that thinks it's on its own, he says we do it just the opposite. He said, what do you mean? The situation becomes the determiner of the outcome, and the outcome can be in the situation can be anything. We don't know what should have happened, so we just deal with what it looks like this happened. So it looks like the situation is just the determinant of the outcome, but you're not the determinant of the outcome. It just looks like the situation is the determinant of the outcome, which can be anything. And the Course says this is a disorganized approach. He says the mind that thinks it's separate, the mind that thinks it's an ego, in other words, the mind that has fear, the mind that has guilt, the Course in Miracles says that's a mind that doesn't know what it wants. So the part of your mind that doesn't know what it wants is never the part of your mind that you should be going to find out what you want. So the part of your mind that doesn't know what it wants to come up with the situation. He says a wrong mind is a mind that's aware of what it doesn't want and only what it doesn't want. So when you're in your ego, when you're in the mind that is deceiving you, the Course says you will be one of these people who are really good at talking about what they don't want. That's the person that's saying, I don't want to go to that restaurant, but I don't want to go to that city, and I don't want to buy that car. And they always know what they don't want, but they never can tell you what they do want. So the Course says they don't really have a positive goal at all. That a person that's saying, I don't want to be broke, is not the same as a person saying, I want to know my abundance. Saying I don't want to be alone is not the same as saying I want a partnership. So he says the mind that's wrong-minded, he calls it the ego, that part of the mind, all it knows is what it don't like and what it don't want. So when you're in that part of your mind that's always talking about what it doesn't like and what it doesn't want, you're in your wrong mind. You want to be in the mind that's saying, this is what I want, and this is what I want to come out of this. That's the mind you want to be in. Whew. See, very specific instructions here. Is that right, boys and girls? There's very specific instructions here. Okay? So what would that mean? Well, without a clear-cut positive goal set at the beginning, the situation just seems to happen. If you don't have a clear-cut goal set at the beginning, you're going to be in situations that just seem to happen. If you don't have a clear positive goal set at the outset, you're going to be in situations that just seem to happen to you. You're going to be in situations that just seem to happen to you that won't make any sense until it's already happened. So a person who has no goal, they're always in situations that just seem to happen to them and don't make no sense. So if you find yourself going, I don't know how I got into this and it just don't make no sense, it's because you had no goal set that you wanted to happen. And so what happened was anything because you didn't have any goal about what you wanted to happen, right? People get in relationships and just hope they work out, right? They don't get in a relationship and they're very clear that we want peace, love, unity in our relationship with each other, to support each other and be a perfect shelter for each other to grow in. We don't say all that. I just hope she got a nice butt. Okay, now.
The goal determines the outcome.
The goal determines the outcome. Well, the Course in Miracles says we lost our sense of humor. That's how we got in hell in the first place. In case you don't know where you're at. That's what's so funny. What's so funny is like, well, I don't want to go to hell. The Course in Miracles goes, well, it's a little too late. You know, you are in hell right now. You're in a place where anything can happen to you and anybody you love. That's hell. You know, you're in the place where people think they're separate and different from each other in total competition and not looking out for each other. That's called hell. You know, you're in the place that you can be sleeping tonight and a tornado take you and everybody you know. The Course in Miracles says, wake up, folks. You're already in hell. What you're trying to do through your spiritual practice is to get out. We like the prisoners that's plotting our escape out of fear and separation and anger. And he says, that's hell. I don't know what you think it is, but if there's no love in your reality and you're suspicious of everybody and scared to trust, and you think, like I said, you think anything could happen to you, you cross the street and somebody run over you, the Course in Miracles says, that's hell. So don't sweat it. You've already done it. He says hell is fear. It's not a place. It's a state of mind, right? And then the Course in Miracles says, this is what's going to happen. If you don't have a goal in the first place, you know what's going to happen? You're going to have situations that just seem to happen. Just trust me on this. I've read this 200 times. Okay. So then the situation that you're going through is not going to make any sense to you, and it's already happened. Then you're going to look back at the situation. You're going to try to piece together what it must have meant, and you will be wrong. But if you didn't have any goal in the first place and you're trying to figure out what's going on in the situation that you didn't have the goal in the first place, it says you're going to be wrong and because your judgment is based in the past. But in the past, you didn't have no idea what should have happened. So how's your judgment going to be correct when you didn't even have any idea what was supposed to happen? You know, if I know I'm supposed to be at Unity Church and I end up on the mall, then I know that I made a mistake because that was the opposite to my goal. But if I didn't have any goal in the first place, I could end up on the mall and just stay there. Because I didn't have no kind of goal. That's what he's trying to say. People walking around going, what the hell is going on? He said, well, you don't have any idea about anything that you want to happen. All you know is what you don't like and what you don't want to happen, and that's not a real goal. Okay? Then the Course is the book is so, bam. He says, now, that means you didn't have any goals set with which to bring the means in line. And so now the only judgment left for you to make is whether or not you like what's happened. Is what just happened acceptable, or does it call for vengeance? He said that's the way we judge stuff because we had no idea what should happen in the first place. So soon as something happened, we go, was this cool? I don't really know what should have happened, but is this cool? And he says, or you ask yourself, or does this call for me to go off and get somebody straight? Does this call for a little vengeance on somebody? Right? He said, that's what we do all day. Is this okay? Do I need to raise hell about this? Oh, is this okay? Or do I need to raise hell about this? That's what we do all day long because we don't know what we want to happen. So we let things happen, and then on the back end we go, was this okay? Is this cool? Or do I need to wreak some vengeance around here? Just straight up reason and logic, right? And then what's the next thing it says? Well, I love how fancy the Course talks. The absence of a criterion for outcome set in advance makes understanding doubtful and evaluation impossible. In other words, if you don't set a goal in advance, you can't evaluate the situation. Without a goal or a purpose, you can't evaluate the situation. The goal was to come to Unity Temple. I'm at the mall. I can evaluate the situation because I had a goal, which was to come to Unity Temple. So the Course says if you want to be able to make right evaluations in any area of your life, get clear about what you want to come out of every area of your life. I say I want a peaceful, loving relationship, and I'm hanging from a noose in the bedroom. My relationship might be out of alignment with its goal. So I know I need to make an adjustment because the goal was peace. We're not having none. So he's saying you can't evaluate what's going on in your life if you have no idea what you want to come out of it. Okay, and you can apply this to anything in your life. That's just what I love about the truth. You can apply the truth to anything. There's no exception. So does that mean whatever I'm experiencing out of anything is what I'm really asking for at some level? Yes. It works the other way. The outcome will lead you back to the cause. So if everything in your life looks like an outcome that's a disaster, just lead it back to you, and now you've discovered the cause. Now something can be done about it. Now you can get out of the situation because the Course teaches as soon as you take yourself out of the problem, you make it unsolvable because you are the problem. That's so funny. Think about that. If you take you out of the problem, you made it unsolvable because you're the problem. You are where the problem is located. So if you leave you out, you said your mama, your daddy, your race, your age, your social, all the stuff you come up with other than your thinking, then you absolutely missed how to get the problem solved, and it becomes unsolvable. So how can I tell when I'm dealing with something that I don't want to get solved? I will at no level attribute any of the responsibility for it to me. Oh, we got oxygen. We got oxygen over here in the next room. So what's the value of deciding in advance what you want to happen? Okay, what's the value of me deciding in advance what I wanted to happen before I came in this room, which was to teach? Well, he says, well, if you decide what you want to happen, then you're going to see the situation as a way to make what you want to happen happen. So every situation that you're in is a situation that can be used to make what you want to happen happen. So the purpose of any situation is what? For you to make what you want to happen happen. He says that's what you should see any relationship as being. A means to make what you want to happen happen. If I'm in a relationship and I say I want to have a loving relationship, well, the relationship I'm in is an opportunity for me to make that happen. So in the situation that you're in is what? It's an opportunity for you to make what you want to happen happen. That's what every situation you go into for the rest of your life. It'll be another situation that you could make what you want to happen happen. So what would be the most important thing? For me to have some idea of what I want to happen. If I don't make up my mind about what I want to happen, things are going to just happen. And then what happens to you when things just happen? You step back and go, was this okay? Or do I need to get upset about this? That's what we do after it's happened. Was this okay? Or do I need to get upset about this? Because I didn't know what should have happened. I didn't have any goal in the first place, so I can't evaluate nothing that's going on. So now I'm confused, and now I'm angry, and now I'm depressed, and now I'm upset. That's where it comes from. You just heard me tell you. That's why I put this stuff online, so people can come back and listen to it over and over and over again. You know, because every question we ask, the Course in Miracles or any wisdom text will give us that answer. It's just, the challenge is, if it's not an answer that we made up ourselves, we have a tendency not to listen to it. That's the problem with adults. Adults sometimes can be more attached to them making their own decisions and figuring out what's true for themselves, that they're not able to hear an answer that's just given to them. Because I didn't think it up. Wow, that's deep. Okay, So what's the value of deciding in advance what you want to happen in your relationship, financially, in your world, in your spirituality, in your awakening, in anything you're trying to do? The value of deciding in advance is you're going to see the situation as a way to make it happen. Okay, so what happens when you see a situation as a way to make what you want to happen, happen? Okay, now just I'll tell you what's going to happen next. Okay, you're going to make every effort to overlook what interferes with the accomplishment of your goal. If I want to be your friend, then I'm going to overlook anything that would make me be your enemy. I'm going to try to overlook anything that would interfere with my goal. That's how you make what you want to happen, happen. You overlook everything that keeps you from getting what you want. You don't focus on anything that's going to keep you from getting what you want. You focus all your attention on what's going to help you get what you want. I want to change my tire. Do you know that Jack has my full attention for a while? Because it's going to give me what I want, a change of tire. So once you know what you want to change the tire, right, then I know how to evaluate whether I'm going to use the Jack or whether I'm going to use a McDonald's hamburger box, right? Because I know I want to change the tire, I got to use the Jack. So as soon as I know what I want, I'm also able to evaluate the situation and know the best approach to take. And I also know what the outcome is going to be. What's the outcome going to be? My tire is going to be changed. I'm applying this to little simple things so that we can apply it to the larger things in our life. I'm trying to make the course practical because it really is. So what do you do then? If I want to have peace with my partner, and that's my goal, then I'm going to concentrate on everything that helps me have peace with my partner. And I'm going to not focus on everything that will make me get upset with my partner. These are just examples. And it's quite noticeable that this approach has brought you closer to love's sorting out of truth and falsity. You know, so in other words, when you're a conscious being, what is the real definition of something being true? Here's the definition of something being true. How can you tell when something is true for you? Well, what's true becomes what can be used to meet your goal. So what is true and what is valuable is what helps me meet my goal. So if you want to know what the truth is in the situation for you, that truth is going to be whatever's going to help you reach your goal. If I think jogging is going to help me reach my goal of running a marathon, then I am going to put all my attention into jogging. I'm going to focus on what helps me meet my goal, and I'm not going to focus on all the things that's telling me why I shouldn't have that goal, or I couldn't be successful at that goal. So the way you have what you want is you see every situation as an opportunity to make what you want to happen, happen. And you make what you want to happen, happen by focusing on what helps you meet what you want and taking all your focus off of what doesn't help you meet the goal. And if I want peace with you, attacking you, going off on you, cussing you out, and threatening you, and making you, trying to make you feel guilty, is not going to help me meet the goal of us having a loving relationship with each other. So there's no way I'm going to have a loving relationship with anybody and think attacking them all the time is going to give me that outcome. It's impossible. And that's why you see such many relationships in the state they are today. People think they're going to get love by attacking each other. I make you feel so bad you do what I say. I make you feel so guilty, you better obey me. Yeah, that's what anger is. It's like trying to control somebody through guilt. And anger is also somebody didn't act out your script. Whenever you're mad, just go, somebody's not acting out my script right now. Somebody's not being the way I think they should be to make me happy. That's why I'm mad. I'm angry at you. You're not acting out my script and doing what I want you to do in order for me to be happy with you. I'm mad at you. That's all that means. You're not acting out my script. I say people don't talk loud on the bus. You talking really, really loud. I'm mad at you. Why? Because you're not acting out my script, or people don't talk loud on buses. You see, that's what everybody's angry because they determine how somebody else should be acting or expressing themselves, and that person isn't doing it the way they want to. And then they get mad at themselves for the same thing. You get mad at you for not acting out the scripts you written for you, like where you were supposed to be at this stage of your life compared to where you might be seeing yourself. So then you get mad at you for not keeping your script. So that's what's happening when you're mad at yourself. So how do you get rid of the anger? Get rid of your script. And that's what the script is, a series of judgments that's formulated into what we think of as goals we have. Oh, keep on talking to me, Spirit. Keep on talking to me. Okay, so what is true? The true becomes what can be used to meet the goal. So what is the false? False is what's anything that's useless in helping you reach your goal. Anything that's not helping you reach your goal is useless. A relationship, if your goal is to have peace and love in a relationship and all you do is argue, fuss, and fight, your relationship is not helping you meet the goal, so it's not a real relationship. It's not a real relationship. That's why you're having so many challenges in it. It's because it's not real, not because it is real. If it's a real relationship, then you see this relationship as useful in your desire to attain peace and harmony in a relationship. You follow what I'm saying? How would I know my relationship is useful? And because I believe my relationship is helping move me toward the goal I have of feeling love and security and connection. That's how I know it's useless. Useless or useful. How do I feel about it? If you don't feel good about it, it's useless. If you feel good about it, it's useful. Unless you believe no pain, no gain. If you're one of them, then be happy with all the stuff you're going through. You already said you were on that without pain, and now you're complaining. Be cool. You wanted it with pain. And I said, wow, that is a kind of dumb saying, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm willing to have gain without pain, universe. That's my goal. Well, I'll tell you how to do that. You have to stop attacking, projecting, and blaming others. You have to assume responsibility for yourself. You have to let go of your belief in guilt and sin and that you are not worthy. You have to let go of the thought that you are not connected to everybody else. You have to be willing to have more love than you can describe. Are you ready for any of that? No! Well, that's your work. That's your spiritual work. Your spiritual work is getting rid of all the blocks that keep you from being able to receive the good stuff I already got planned for you. That's your spiritual work. The undoing of your fear, your anger, your guilt, your upset, the past. That's how you get it. It's a bunch of good stuff waiting for you. And you can't lose it, so don't sweat it. It's not like it's going to expire like some travel miles. That's not the way spirit works. Okay? It's waiting for you when you're ready. And anybody with the same mind, what do they want to get? Ready. If they're not experiencing it. And we're being told. What do you mean, Earl? First, the thing I want you to do is in the situation that you're going through doubt and fear, I want you to ask yourself, what do you want to come of this? What do you want to happen? You need to clarify the goal because that's going to determine how it turns out. Stop talking about what you don't want and start asking for what you do want. Talking about what you don't want is not really having a positive goal. And if you don't have a positive goal, things are just going to seem to happen to you. And things are just going to seem to happen to you, and then you're going to look back on it and try to decide whether you like what happened or whether you need to get upset and go off on somebody about it. Because if you don't have a goal, if you have no idea what should be happening this year, if you have no idea what should be happening this year, then how can you evaluate your progress at all during the year when you don't know what your goal is? If your goal is to go to California and you find out you're in New York, then you got some type of way to evaluate whether or not you made the right turn as far as going to Chicago. So without a goal, you will never be able to figure out what the hell is going on in your life. Okay, Course in Miracles. Doggone it. So, and what else? Well, he said, well, once you all set a goal, then you're going to see in the situation that you go in is an opportunity to get what you want. You're going to see every situation as an opportunity to make what you want to happen. That's what a conscious being knows. If I'm in this room right now with these people, then this is an opportunity for me to make what I want to happen. And what I've decided I want to happen is peace. So this is an opportunity for me to make peace happen with you. See, anything that's real is something you can do now. Anything that's false is always something that involves the past or future. So as soon as you come up with a goal that you can't do until sometime in the future, you're not really dealing with the truth. Because you can always have the truth right now and the healing of the truth right now. So there's nothing, everything that would make you happy is present right now. You just don't recognize it. So the Course in Miracles says that when you're conscious, the best prayer you can have is, I ask to be able to recognize what I already have. He said, when you wake up, that becomes your prayer. I want to be able to recognize what I already have, because anything I already have is something that's available to me now, and anything that's available to me now is not something I have to wait for. So it's instantaneous satisfaction. I asked to be able to talk to you right now, and I am. So this is an example of me seeking and finding, because I'm asking for what I already have, and to be able to recognize what I already have. Where when you're listening to your wrong mind, what it does is just instantly start to point out what's lacking that you need to go out there and get. And that's why people get into all that debt when they get ready to start something new that they can't hardly get out of, because they were listening to their ego, which was telling them that what they needed was not available to them right now. They had to get something they don't have in order to be successful. A conscious being does just the opposite. Okay, I'm going to start a business. What are the resources I already have available to me right now, today? And that's where they start. People who don't know the truth, all they focus on is what's missing and what's lacking that they need to get. And it's usually what they don't have. But that's why they think they need to get it. Okay. Woo! How much longer I gotta go? I'm kicking myself out of my own class. The value of deciding in advance, what you want to happen, the value of deciding in advance what you want to happen is make the situation that you're in right now. Use this situation that you're in right now. Use the situation that you're in right now to make what you want to happen, happen. Use the situations that you're in right now to make what you want to happen, happen. The situations that you're in right now are the situations that can make what you want to happen, happen. So what is the purpose of any situation that you go into? It's another opportunity. It's another opportunity to do what? To make what you want to happen, happen. So how do you do that? You focus on everything that helps you reach your goal, and you overlook everything that does not. You focus on everything and everybody that helps you meet your goal, and you overlook everyone else. So what is true for you? What is true? What is true is whatever you can use to meet your goal. Whatever helps you meet your goal, that's what you're supposed to see as being true. Whatever doesn't help you reach your goal, that is what you should see as false. Why? Because you've already been programmed to go for the truth. You've already been programmed to automatically go for what's true. So if you see what's helping you reach your goal as being the thing that's valuable, that being the thing that's true, then your mind will automatically want to practice it. You won't have to work so hard to change your mind, because you're working with the way your mind already works. And your mind has already been trained to want what's true. And so now you will tell yourself, what's true is what's helping me reach my goal. If I want to have peaceful, loving friends, who's helping me reach that goal? My friends who are peaceful and loving and supportive with me. So those are my true friends, because those are the ones that are helping me reach my goal of having real loving relationships. Who are my false friends? My false friends are the ones that I am using for pain and suffering and sacrifice and conflict. People that I see as not supporting my peace. Those are the ones that are not real and useful for my goal of peace. Woo. So what makes a situation meaningful? What makes a situation meaningful is having a goal for the situation, because when you have a goal or a purpose, then you know what the situation means. If my purpose is to love you, if my purpose is to have peace with you, now I know the meaning of every time we're together. Whenever we're with each other, now I know why we're with each other. It's another opportunity for me to make peace between us happen. Every time I'm with you is another time, another opportunity for us to make love happen. If love is our goal, if trust is our goal, if generosity and open-mindedness to each other is our goal, then every time we're together, it's another opportunity to give ourselves that experience of love and happiness together. And how do I give myself that experience of love and happiness with someone? How do I give myself that experience of peace and joy with someone? Would I have to overlook everything that would tell me anything to attack them about? I'd have to overlook any judgments that would make me not be kind to them. I have to focus on what allows me to achieve that goal of seeing their value. How do you do that? How do you do that? When you think about what you're grateful to them for. You think about what you appreciate about them. And now you're using that person to achieve your goal, and now that person has value to you again. And this is the attitude you take toward whatever you are trying to accomplish. And if you use any situation in your life for peace and truth and sanity, then that situation is going to turn out in a position of truth and sanity. You never have sanity without peace. Peace and sanity go together. So you can tell when you're being sane, because when you're being sane, you're being nonviolent. You're not attacking. You're not trying to hurt anyone or anything when you're in your sane mind. So this year is going to be whatever you want to come out of it. This year is going to be whatever you think it's for. But you must give yourself a positive goal right now. Give yourself a positive goal right now. Stop talking about what you don't want. Stop talking about what you don't like. And ask for what you do. Ask for what you do. So that things will just stop happening to you. And you finding yourself seeming like you're just thrown around life. You don't know what's going to happen the next minute. This is a situation that you can use to make what you want to happen. Okay. We'll do about 1 more minute recap in just a second. As a full-time teacher of the Course in Miracles, I always give people an opportunity to share if they'd like. So, put your pants around. So if you might make a financial expression of appreciation, I appreciate that. You can use Zelle, Venmo, the Cash App, or PayPal. All you need is my email address. That's earlpurdy@earlpurdy.com. P-U-R-D-Y. P-U-R-D-Y. earlpurdy@earlpurdy.com. I'm also available for one-on-one counseling, coaching sessions. Well, I can take whatever you think you're going through right now that you like to see healed or solved or looked at differently. I know exactly what parts of the Course in Miracles to go to that applies to those things. And together we can do all of the applications, and I can show you how to use it to deal with the situation that you think you're dealing with, so it can go away, so it can be solved. The Course in Miracles says, any problem you try to solve by yourself is really a problem you don't want solved. I say, what? Any problem that you try to solve without giving it to a higher power or including some level of a greater spiritual awareness, that's you trying to hang on to the problem, not letting it go. Because you're not giving it to where the answer is located. So if you're not giving it to where the answer is located, obviously you don't really want the answer and you don't really want it solved, is what it's saying. So I went, oh, okay, how much am I trying to answer all the time without ever asking for any guidance? Then I realized most of the time, to kind of explain why I'd never seen myself completely free of problems. And which one are you trying to handle the most? The ones that's been the most long-standing problem that it looks like you haven't been able to change. That's the one you're still trying to handle by yourself. The one that's the longest and the biggest one. That's the problem that hasn't been surrendered yet. Okay, that's fair enough. I'm so glad the Creator has more patience than me. Goodness. On Thursdays at 7 p.m. Mountain Time on the Earl Purdy page on Facebook, I do Hardcore Course in Miracles online. And on Sundays at 1 p.m. Mountain Time, I do a Course in Miracles on Facebook Live. And you can also attend in person at 1555 Race Street in Denver, Colorado. 1555 Race Street. If you want to have a clarity session with me, just go to my website. You can learn more about it, and you can self-book a session right online. So here we go. So do you think that you really want to have love and peace and joy in your life? Well, you got to apply what I'm about to say very specifically. You have to apply what I'm about to say very specifically. In any situation, you have to use this in any situation. Listen to me. In any situation that you are in doubt and fear, in any situation that you are in doubt and fear, the first thing you should do is ask yourself, what do I want to come of this? What do I want to come of this? What do you 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 want to come of this? Whatever that situation or circumstance that you're in right now, that you feel any kind of doubt, any kind of uncertainty, ask yourself, what do I want to come of this? What do I want to come of this? What do I want to come of this? And ask yourself, what is it for? Ask yourself, what do I want to come out of this? What is this for? What is this happening for? What is this for? I'm in doubt and uncertainty right now. I need to ask myself, what do I want to come of this? What is it for? Because the goal you set is going to determine how it turns out. The goal you set determines how it turns out. The goal you set determines how it turns out. So what is it you're supposed to not do? Don't talk about what you don't want. Don't talk about what you don't like. Don't talk about what you don't want. Talk about what you do want, what you do like, what you do want, what you do like. Ask for what you do want, what you do like, what you do like. And what? If you want to stop being one of those people that you just have this drama-filled life, that there's always something seeming to happen to you, if you want to get rid of that, you want to make sure that you set a goal at the beginning. Stop looking back on situations that have happened to you that you didn't have a goal for that situation in the first place, and then trying to figure out what happened by asking yourself, do I like what's happened, or do I need to get really angry about what's happened? The value of deciding in advance what you want to happen is you start seeing any situation that you're in as a way to make what you want to happen, happen. And so you will make every effort to do what? You will make every effort to overlook what interferes with the accomplishment of your goal. You will learn to overlook what interferes with the accomplishment of your goal. You're going to learn to what is true now? What is going to be true to you now? What is truth for you now? Well, what is true is what can be used to meet your goal. Whatever can be used to help you get what you want. What can help you meet your goal, that's what's true for you. What can help you reach your goal, that is what's valuable to you. Who can help you reach your goal? That's who's valuable to you. What's valuable to you? What's true for you? What's true is what helps you reach your goal. What is true is what helps you reach your goal. What's false is what doesn't help you reach your goal. What doesn't help you reach your goal cannot be true. Who doesn't help you reach your goal is not true. Whatever doesn't help you reach your goal, it's not valuable. What doesn't help you reach your goal, that's what's not true. What doesn't help you reach your goal, that's what's not true. And that's how you start to allow yourself to have exactly what you want, the outcome that you want. And you want to apply this to every situation that comes up, every specific situation. What do I want to come of this, and what is it for? What do you want to come of it, and what is it for? Thank you, mighty companions, for coming today. I appreciate you all so much. I needed to hear that. That was helpful. Repetition. I love y'all.